we've done this obesity meter in this country, and it's pretty ridiculous.
The BMI?
The BMI scale to be obese.
Yeah, that's crazy.
This new study says if you're slightly overweight but not obese, and you drink a couple of drinks a day, then you'll actually live longer into your 90s.
Your fat drunk ass will live longer. That's your benefit.
So
here's your reward.
So yeah, if you're feeling guilty that you like to have a couple glasses of beer, a couple glasses of wine, maybe a cocktail or two a night, you shouldn't feel bad at all because it's actually good for you.
It's good.
And of course, drinking coffee is good for you too. They say about 2 cups a day will give you about a 10% lower chance of dying early death.
I'm going to start calling these segments in which you cite these studies because I swear this happens at least once a week. The Jeremy West Daily Affirmation, and what it is, it's you telling yourself that I could drink a little bit on the weeknights. I could have a couple drinks.
The thing is, I don't drink during the week. I save it all for the weekend. They say that's really bad for you.
Okay, so you're not having balanced grasshopper.
When you're having more than like 4 drinks, that's probably not a good thing.
Because you come up miraculously, you come up with all these studies that like wine, coffee, red meat, all these things are bacon, all these things are really good for you, despite the fact that doctors pretty much say they're okay, but in moderation. This is what this is saying, right?
This is Claudia Callas. She's a professor at the University of California. She tracked data around with 1,700 people who were in their 90s in 2003. She called it the 90-plus study. She said her work had found that modest drinking and carrying extra weight were both associated with longevity.
Oh, God. It's contagious.
Yeah, living a long life. Why can't we say that word? Longevity?
Longevity.
Longevity, thank you.
It's one of those I have to slow and think about, and then that's okay. Like anonymity.
Yes.
Longevity.
Yes. She also found that those who spent at least 2 hours a day doing something that they like a hobby, also helped you be happier and live a better life.
Balance. It's all about balance.
What's a hobby that you spend 2 hours at every day? I know. It's called watching TV. Is that a hobby?
No.
That's what I do for about 2 hours every day when I get home.
Do something that you're going to,
I watch a little news, and I watch some stupid show that nobody cares about. And then I get on my phone, and I look at stupid stuff about Bigfoot or fishing.
You know what we've been doing is the last 24 hours, we've been asking people, or I guess 20-ish hours, 18 hours, whatever. Doesn't really matter at this point. We've been asking people how many hours a week they do their favorite hobby. And we'll get to some of those responses coming up here. Because I guarantee you, in order for it to be 2 hours a day, you'd have to have 14 hours a week. Who's got 14 hours a week to do anything?
Golf is tough because it takes so much time. For me, it's fishing, and it's like I gotta get the boat, I gotta get hooked up, I gotta go out to the lake, and then I gotta get on the lake, and then I gotta fish.
So does all that count as time towards the hobby?
I mean, yeah, because it all takes time to do all that.
You have to have a boat.
So I can't. I mean,
you have to take the boat, put it in the water.
You don't have to have a boat. You just have to drive to a lake, and that takes time. And then you have to get all your stuff. You have to get down there. You got to set up, and then you got to go. And the next thing you know, 2 hours is gone, and that's your setup and your tear down and your drive there and drive back. So it's like I don't do that as much as I should.
Hold on a second. Emily rescues dogs for a hobby. We gotta rescue a dog that's not a hobby.
How do you rescue a dog? What do you go adopt a dog and then I don't understand. Like you find a dog walking down the street and you kidnap him? I mean, this dog probably has a home. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I'm sure whatever you do is important.
How does one do that for a hobby?
Well, we all know where the missing dogs are going. They're going to Emily's house. You can let us know. 543-3693. Call or text. You can also hit this conversation on Facebook and Twitter at Jeff and Jeremy.
I gotta find out how one
maybe she volunteers.
Hobby rescues dogs.
I'm gonna guess she's a volunteer at like Humane Society or Animal Services or
a game or something
or somewhere. Because if she's
Hello?
This is Jeff and Jeremy. How are you?
I'm good. Hi.
Good, Emily.
Okay,
nice
how
to
does
meet
one
you.
hobby rescue dogs?
Well, my husband's dog was unfortunately hit by a car last year, and he died, and so I just made it my hobby to rescue dogs, rehabilitate dogs, and find them a new home.
Do you work with like a Humane Society or something?
Nope, just by myself.
So if you just see a dog like walking down the street, you just pull over and pick him up and put him in your van?
I just put them in my Jeep, and if they have a microchip, I call their owners and reunite them. Like the dog I just rescued last week, he was hit by a car. His owner let him go however long without taking him to the vet. He's all, oh, he's fine, oh, he's fine. And we got to looking at him, and his legs all tore up, and so they signed an owner surrender for him, and now he's mine, and then I adopt him out as soon as he's better.
You're like K9 PS, Canine Protective Services, like Child Protective Services.
Yeah.
Like children are being like not looked after in a proper fashion. Then somebody will report the CPS. Well, there's no K9 PS, so you have become the default K9 PS. Do you go around looking for dogs that might need help?
Sometimes, like me and my husband, we go off-roading all the time. Last year, back in, I believe, October, or beginning of November, October, or end of October, a friend of mine found this pit bull who was shot in both of his front legs with a 20-gauge shotgun shell.
Oh, my God.
And left out in the middle of the desert to die. We went out and helped rescue him. And ever since then, I've just been rescuing dogs.
This is wild. Like, how did you find? You just kind of find out because you hear something from a friend or somebody else, and then you just.
She posted on Facebook asking help because they couldn't get him loaded into their car because every time they'd go to try and touch him, he would try to attack them.
Sure, because
of course it's kind of of course he's going to because he's in pain. So I just loaded up some stuff in my Jeep when we went out there, and we scared him onto a blanket, and then my husband and her husband just kind of slung it really quick and put him in their vehicle.
So when you're sitting around and you ain't got nothing to do, you say to your husband, and maybe he's sitting around and he's got nothing to do, let's go look for some dogs?
Pretty much. Or we say, let's go off-roading, and sometimes when we go off-roading, we find them, or...
Are you ever afraid?
Just driving around town, and
are you ever afraid though you're going to pick up somebody's dog who just maybe got out or something, and then you're kind of like dog napping?
No, because if I do that, I normally take them to the vet to have them microchipped, or to see if they have a microchip, or I do take them to the animal shelter.
Oh, okay. So if they have a tag or something,
I'll post them on Facebook, and somebody will contact me like, "Hey, that's my dog. Do you still have it?" And we're like, "Yeah, you can come pick it up, or I can drop it off." Or
boy,
legally in California, the hold limit is 2 weeks.
Okay.
So if somebody doesn't contact you within 2 weeks, the dog is legally yours to do what you want with. So,
wow. I mean, what you're doing is amazing. I mean, my wife and I lost our dog last year, and she's always talked like if she ever wins the lottery, this is what she wants to do with her life.
Go around hunting out dogs with Emily?
No, a little bit different.
Oh.
She just wants to do English bulldogs because she loves English bulldogs,
okay.
but she wants to have a rescue.
Currently, I have 3 that are rescues. I have a Swedish elk hound who's she's interesting. She's basically a small German Shepherd, and then I have the one that was hit by a car. And then I have another one that came from a really horrible situation. He was severely underweight. He has no teeth. He has scars, and so crazy. It's just I have a passion for it. Dogs love me. Animals love me. People say, "Oh, this dog's so vicious. It's so vicious." And then we can't catch it. It's so vicious. And then I just, I go out there and I get eye level with it. I sit on the ground. I bring food. I just sit there and wait. And after
like a dog
10, maybe
whisperer.
20 minutes of waiting, they just come right up to me, and they're just basically sit there and lick me and thank you for rescuing me, kind of. So
wow, you are
unfortunate dog whisperer. You are. Wow, that's really cool. It warms my heart to know that.
Yeah.
There are people out there doing what you do, and you enjoy doing it to the level where you're like, I got some free time. Let's go see if we can go find some dogs to rescue.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I'm a full-time student. I work I'm going to start working at a stable on Wednesday, cleaning stalls. I go with I just go with the flow. I mean, if somebody tags me a post on Facebook, hey, this dog's out on the loose, do you think you could go catch it? I'm like, sure, why not? I'll go try. And I have a 95% success rate. So.
Jeez, really?
Gosh, I mean,
you're successful at your hobby, is what you're saying. Do you mind if we say your name so people can search you out, I guess?
No, that's totally fine. I mean, unfortunately, I'm no longer in the 805.
Uh-huh.
But I do, if there's a dog over there that's I need a home for it, I share it to my group, and I even tell people, I'm like, hey, if you can help with gas, I'll go pick it up for you, or if you can do this, I'll go pick it up for you, or, so my Facebook group is called Queen Mary's Paw Patrol and Rescue, because my Jeep's name is Queen Mary, and I do all my rescuing in my Jeep, so.
It's really cool what you're doing, Emily. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I love it.
We're going to like your page right now. Queen Mary Dog Rescue, what'd you say it was?
It's Queen Mary's Paw Patrol and Rescue.
Paw Patrol. All
It's,
right.
I think it's /rescue.
Okay, very cool. Well, good work to you, man, and good luck with everything.
Thank you. And it's completely nonprofit, too. I mean, like, I do what I can. Like, every month when I go shopping at the beginning of the month, I buy 3 or 4 bags of dog food because I know I'm going to be needing it. Or I buy, like, puppy food, or I have, like, a ton of bowls. And, I mean, and people just, like, I ask for donations, and people are like, oh, well, I have a dog kennel you can have, or, hey, here's some dog, like, vet supplies you can have, and stuff like that. So it's like, and I really helping the community, too. So I enjoy it. I love it.
All right. Well, good luck with you, and keep us in touch if there's anything we can do over here, okay?
Perfect. Thank you guys so much.
Wow. Thank you. Geez, that's crazy. Like,
That's
cool. Literally
So-
the definition of a good Samaritan right there.
When you hear somebody that does something like that, doesn't it make what you do on a daily basis just feel a little insignificant?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, when she first wrote that, I was just kind of chuckling, thinking like,
Right. I thought it was just like we're gonna.
she's helped a dog or two.
Yeah.
Like,
No, she literally dedicates several hours a week
Yeah.
to looking for dogs that need help.
That
is
keeps her happy.
Pretty awesome.
Good morning.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning on 93.3 KZOZ.